Welcome to The Lift with Sheila Robinson Kiss. Come on in. There's always a special place set aside for you here where you can relax, kick up your heels, pour yourself a nice, refreshing drink, and prepare to be lifted and soar. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, and welcome back to The Lift with Sheila Robinson Kiss. Mental health, movement, motivation, we've got it all. And the best relationship advice around. If you're loving what I'm doing, please don't forget to subscribe and share the news of the channel with your friends and family. I'm going to dive right in. I received a note from Brian, and it struck me for a variety of reasons. I think this is a topic that many of us need to dive into, and if you don't, it's going to be a very nice refresher. Brian, thank you. You inspired my title, which is what happens? What happens when you don't learn to stick up for yourself and set boundaries? I mean, how long do y'all have? How long do you have? Because we could go on and on this topic, but I want to read you Brian's note. And then, Brian, I'm going to dive into this. I'm actually not going to answer your question directly. I'm going to share some stories with you, and that's how I'm going to answer it. So here we go. Dear Sheila, I feel trapped in a vicious cycle of abuse. I have been with my partner for 8 years. This is a committed relationship. At least I am committed. I have done more for this woman and her children than I have time to tell you. I've covered her mortgage when she was short. I treat her children like my own, and I go out of my way to make her feel special. I cannot understand why she repeatedly steps out on me. I have taken her back after these slip-ups more than once, and she promises it will never happen again. And we keep ending up in the same place. She has treated me disrespectfully in front of my friends and has privately demeaned me. I avoid telling her I'm going to leave because it sounds like an empty threat at this point. I need help. What to do, Brian? Well, Brian, this is a topic that I have tackled numerous times on the channel, and I think I need to go about this in a different way. This is a new approach today. So instead of answering this head on, because I know exactly what you need to do, I think you know full well what you need to do. The reason why it hasn't been done, that's really between you and your creator, but I want to give you some things to think about. So what I want to do today is take everyone inside of the anatomy. I want to go really into the innards here, a very deep dive into the anatomy of disrespect. Um, what happens when we don't stick up for ourselves and set boundaries? And we end up backed in these corners asking questions like, why does this keep happening? I'm a good person. I'm a lovely person. I'm a fine person. I'll give you that. Most of the people who are drawn to this channel, we all, we are connected. We're family, we're cousins. Most of the people who are here have a like vibration. That's why I love, YouTube's doing these videos for you and supporting your mental health is one of the best parts of my life because it's such a pure uh, relationship. Everyone is here because they want to be here. So I can speak with you very candidly. Let me say this. People, we don't like to get into these things, but people are always making subtle calculations. This is a kind of thing I wish I would have really understood this years ago when I was really kind of just starting out in the world. It would have saved me so many heartbreaks and heartaches and issues. Listen, lean in what I'm saying. People are always making subtle calculations. Some are conscious, some are unconscious. These are calculations on who you are, what you're about, how they can treat you, what are the boundaries, where is it safe to categorize you, which shelf do you belong on? Are you in the front row, the middle row, back row? This is the underbelly of our existence in terms of relationships. And the unique vantage point that I have, and this is what makes the channel and the information I share unique and very valuable, is because I'm uniquely positioned. I have been for nearly 25 years now, uniquely positioned to gather data that would normally be very difficult to collect. This is by self reports from a wide variety of people. So, Brian, I'm going to answer your question and your concern by taking you inside the innards of how a person comes to respect you or disrespect you, how they make the calculation that you are a person that I can comfortably cheat on, I can comfortably demean you in private, and I can comfortably embarrass you in front of your friends and family and know that you're not going to challenge me. No, you're not going to think. I want to explain to you how a person makes that calculation. Okay? So I'm going to take you back 4 or 5 years ago. I was sitting with a lovely woman by all accounts, um, accomplished in her own right. And literally, she just collapsed, her head in my chest, just so sad and just broken. The only thing I could do is just give her a hug and comfort her. And it was the moment was jarring because she had recounted how she had been disrespected by this individual just over and over again. I mean, the kind of disrespect that her family watched it. They lost respect for her. Her colleagues, you know, they caught wind of what was going on. Her children, multiple times just disrespected mind, body, heart, spirit, soul by someone she was in a relationship with. But the moment that was so jarring for me is when she said, Sheila, I was sitting there. We were in the middle of an argument going back and forth, and I mustered up the strength to say, you know what, that's it. I'm finally done with this. And this person says, you and I both know you're not going anywhere. You and I both know you're not going anywhere. And that was the moment as she shared this, I knew what her tears were about. It was really the recognition that this person who was disrespecting her on every level had basically announced, listen, I myself have lost all respect for you. You've shown me over and over again I can do what I want, and you're going to be right here. And can you imagine that someone saying that in your face with authority and meaning it? The anatomy of how someone over time comes to disrespect you is truly based on, you can trace it back to how many times you have allowed that without penalty, without sanction, without any pain points. And so people are constantly, they're doing these calculations and they piece it together and they figure out, I can do what I want. And many of them, let me tell you guys, they'll never tell you. It's so subtle. I had someone in my office some years ago, I'm telling you, whatever I lacked, and I've been candid with you guys, there were things missed in my formative years coming of age just because of circumstances that I had no control over. So when you're in that situation, what happens when you do leave home, life becomes your instructor. Life is a very brutal instructor because if life has to take over and teach you, her lessons will be thorough. I guarantee you, because there's no time for cookies and milk. So what I'm saying to you has come through very thorough instruction. Okay? I had someone in my office that said, "Sheila, I can't even believe that she lets me treat her this way." See, I've been on all sides of it. I've sat with the people who perpetrate this kind of behavior, so I know the psychology of it. That's a person sitting across from a therapist. They're working on various issues, working through. And by the way, sidebar, I'm doing this stuff, Sheila, and I'm getting away with it. I cannot even believe that. And then they go further to admit they know exactly what they're doing. Exactly what they're doing, but it's so easy. The comfort and convenience is too it's too irresistible. That's one example. That's one story I'm giving you. I know what I'm talking about. If you do not set specific standards and boundaries, that is as good as waving the white flag of surrender and saying, "Have your way with me." For these examples, I'm talking about relationships, but it's in every area of life. And I'm not, I hope that, especially if you've listened, if you tuned into the channel for some time, I hope that you have a sense. If you don't, I'm not, something's wrong. I hope you have a sense for my humanity and compassion. I'm not a difficult woman. When people give me feedback, whether it's in my speaking business, my practice life, the words I hear are, you're a joy, you're easy to be around, you're easy to work with. That's my natural state. I that's my natural state. I want to flow with it. Just I'm here, let's have a sandwich, kick up our heels, tell a few jokes. That's it. But I have learned, and I learned it the hard way. See, everyone you meet is not a sandwich and cookies and kick up your heels with a snack kind of situation. There's different kind of friends you're going to meet. There's different kind of people that, should you decide to move forward in a relationship or a committed relationship, everyone's not wired the same. There's people I do business with. Some are casual, just as cool and easy as I am, and some of them are just really extremely rigid. So that's the first thing to understand is, just because you carry a certain kind of energy and you have a certain kind of thought process and you move in this world in a certain kind of way, everyone is not going to appreciate that, embrace that, match that energy. So when we get new information, when we get new data, however you want to pronounce it, we need to be able to make some different assessments and make some different moves. Okay? Because there is a brand of person that, for me, I genuinely cherish, and I love and enjoy kind people and nice people. That is not my cue and my flag, the red flag, like go, run over them. Take advantage of that kindness and that decency. That's a cue how I operate, you know what, this is a real keeper. This is a gem. And I try my best to reciprocate that good energy and that good vibe. But there are people that is not their natural constitution. Now, next step, those are the ones who need to be trained. They're going to need to be trained into how to be decent, how to understand what you're about. And when you take someone who doesn't have the natural inclination, the heart, and in some instances the common sense, Brian, you say I've done for your children, I've covered your mortgage, I've gone to make you feel special. Sounds phenomenal to me. Sounds phenomenal to me. You're clearly dealing with an individual who doesn't understand the gift that you so freely give is literally being shredded up before you, before your eyes. And so in your niceness, and I hear this all the time, I love it that you're nice. That's fine. You don't get brownie points from a lot of people for that. In your quest to be decent and to go overboard and not set boundaries and realize what is happening, you've answered your own question. You said, I don't know what to do. You've answered your own question. The only thing missing in the equation is some level of accountability. And I want you to ask yourself, really, not just you, Brian, everyone listening to the program, I want you to ask yourself, what do you think of yourself? What do you really think of yourself? Do you think that you're a blessed child of the Creator, here and worthy of all the best? Is that what you believe? Do you believe that what you have to offer is solid, and anyone who has the privilege of sharing company with you has really is really in for a treat? Do you believe that? Because if you don't, this is the reason why these things keep happening to you. And if you do believe it, I'm telling you, have you heard of that spray? It's called Off. It's a bug repellent. Off. You spray it on you in the summer and they say the mosquitoes won't come near you. That is how self-esteem and self-worth operates. When you are centered and you know who you are and what you're worth, this has nothing to do with being cocky. Nothing to do with being cocky whatsoever. This has to do with, wait a minute, hold up. I'm out here walking in righteousness and decency. I'm out here giving the best of what I have to offer. Hold on. What you're offering is not it doesn't reflect that. We're not equally yoked. And because I've invited you into the sanctuary of my life, this is not just like two pals playing tennis. You're a person I'm in a committed relationship with. There must be equity here. There must be balance. There must be boundaries that are respected. And you're going, oh, it was a mistake. It just happened. I slept with someone. See, when I think about mistakes, I think something that, well, you didn't intend to do it or you didn't know enough. Brian, it doesn't sound like this is something that's really we can honestly say is it. And if it's a mistake, we make it and it doesn't happen 2, 3, 4 more times. Mistakes I've made with people, you correct me, I got it. I got it. I'm going to go and process that, and you better believe it. It's not going to occur again and again and again and over and over. What do you think of yourself? What do you think of yourself? We are constantly, whether we want it or not, we are teaching people how to treat us. We are training them on how to respond. I've seen this in my personal development and my professional development. I've seen the trajectory. If I go back 20 years, even 15 years, um, subtleties, what people thought they could take liberties with. I don't have those problems. I do not have those problems today because you know what? The off repellent. I have no problem whatsoever. Bye bye. Bye bye. I don't roll that way. Don't like what you did. Seems very disrespectful. You know what? We're just not a match vibration. I put you in the Christ light. I'm in the Christ light. I wish you well. Not doing that. Not doing that to myself. So that's across the board. But I've seen over time, just being I've been very candid with you all. There was a very disempowering time in my life. I lived that disempowerment. I've been disrespected. I've been the person who, wow, I was so nice. I was so nice to him. I'm doing my best. I'm going above and beyond. I've been that person. And I can tell you, everyone does not deserve your above and beyond. And there's a population of people, they're out there. They can be good, solid partners or good, solid friends, not without boundaries. It's like, and don't misunderstand, I'm not, when I'm using the analogy of dogs like canines, it's just for taking in context their temperament. The way a Rottweiler can make an excellent pet, loyal, strong. That's a different kind of training than my little gizmo, my Yorkie. A Great Dane, a Husky, a Poodle. That's a different, that takes a different kind of vibe. A different standards, boundaries, can make phenomenal companions, pets, family members. I think you understand what I'm saying. But that upfront understanding, and that's established at the start of a relationship. I'm not saying you can't make adjustments once you're into a relationship, but once patterns are set, check out next week my video. I'm going to be talking about morphic resonance and healthy detachment. Once patterns are set and entrenched, expectations, entitlements, it can be very difficult to cut through that. So I do have to say, oftentimes on the channel, you want to hear something fluffy, like do this for her or do that for her. When the reality is, if you can't do that deep reset and someone is just determined, I'm not going to respect you. I might straighten up for a month or two, but I'm going to do what I want to do. You need to be able to sit down with yourself and have the come to Jesus moment. This is what I'm dealing with. That is just someone who does not feel that you are worthy of respect. And to me, my opinion, you will get further in that situation and say, you know what? Watch me. I go cry by myself. Watch me. I would disconnect, detach, make this person feel some kind of a repercussions or pain. I have people I deal with before, they've walked all over you, slapped you in the face, and 2 days later, there you go, you're back again. What you're doing is rewarding bad behavior and reinforcing it. If you insist on staying paired with a person who keeps crossing boundaries, disrespecting you, at least give the pretense or some illusion that you have the capacity to stay away for 3 to 6 months. Something in place where it signals, you know what, this may be hard. I'll get it figured out. That's a pain point. Someone can feel that and be like, oh, I didn't like it when Johnny pulled away for 6 months. Oh, I missed him. I don't want that to happen again. There has to be something in here that would condition and train a new response. But when you keep saying, okie dokie, okie dokie, okay, we all make mistakes. Okay, I understand. That kind of personality type that would put you in that position in the first place, they don't appreciate that second chance, or else it wouldn't morph into the necessity for a third chance, a fourth chance, or a fifth chance. Let's put some math into it, like a mathematical equation here. We got to start looking at things as they are. And I would be remiss. What has helped me more than anything and what has strengthened me, and this is why you constantly hear me talk about cultivating that strong, deep, richly rooted relationship with the creator of all creation and your angels, and cultivating your spirituality and learning more about who you are and opening up your heart, not to this relationship or that relationship, but opening up your heart to the possibilities of this robust relationship that you can cultivate within you, so that you don't feel empty and like you're half of a person if this person is not in your bed with you, or you don't walk into the function with someone on your arm. That empty feeling can make you feel like a sitting duck. But as far as the emptiness goes, I know plenty of people who are coupled up, and it is so toxic. It is not healthy. It's like living in a ghost graveyard. You get a couple of nuggets here and there, but nothing to really sink your teeth into. And when you don't learn how to stick up for yourself and how to set boundaries, that is a life where you will be run over. And you will be run over in relationships, at work, in some instances by your children. I want you to begin to sit with self. Today, sit and make a list. This is called the standards, boundaries, and priority list. This over here is okay. That's the first column, what is okay. And second, what is not okay? What is not okay? And then I want you to start working on that personal constitution that we talk about. Those words that you get up, you get in the mirror every morning and you repeat it and you say it until you drill it down. I understand we can grow up in situations where compromise. I get it. I understand that. But you hear me say again and again, when you know better, do better. When you have fresh information, plug it in. There's people who leave the planet. They're going to leave the planet. I've sat with grown men and women who've cried. I don't think I'm ever going to get love as I wanted in this lifetime, Sheila. I wanted good love. I wanted respectful love and reciprocal love. And this is how it turned out. Everyone doesn't get the nice, neat, tidy bow. I've sat across from people in full respect. I just wish, I should have just had the gumption and the courage to stand up for myself, to do a deep reset, or to leave. And now I'm at a place where it's not feasible, So it's deeply personal work, and when we stick up for ourselves and set boundaries, I will tell you, there are people that you will need to walk away from. There are circumstances, there's work and nice money, big money, that I've said, you know what, I don't want all business. Every piece of business I don't want. I don't feel respected. We're not on of the same accord. So thank you. Thank you, but no thanks. There are people that I've crossed paths with, introduced, you know what? I don't think so. That rubbed me the wrong way. We're not a vibration, or I've known people, boundaries are crossed. Okay, we're gonna go in a different direction. And that is okay. It is okay, because this is how you cultivate a life of vibrancy and respect, where you look in the mirror and you say, that's it. That's it. I'm happy. I'm satisfied. And as far as partnership, oh my God, goodness, Sheila, I'm afraid to be by myself. Do you honestly believe that the Lord is going to put that in your heart, put love and companionship in your heart, and leave you hanging? Many people, you can't get it because you're wrapped up in BS. You're wrapped up in a toxic situation. The robins, the sparrows, the eagles, every hair on their head is accounted for. You honestly think the Father does not have you in mind, is not going to bless you? 9 times out of 10, trying to get you to blessing, you're wrapped up in some bull. You're wrapped up in some bull. It, like I said, I learned it the hard way. It was literally when I stopped saying no to nonsense in my life, relationship, business. That's when all the good people, the good contracts, the big business, the wonderful, lovely people. But I had to get my mind and attention off that toxicity. God is not the author of confusion. And we should not feel like we need to flip about and flail about in order to have our boundaries respected, who we are being lifted up. That's a problem when confusion repeats and repeats in a relationship. So I may do a part 2 to this. Brian, I hope something I've said has made a difference. I will be back with some more refreshing content. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe. This has been The Lift with Sheila Robinson Kiss.